Hello, everyone. I am Roswell Royce Laurie, and welcome to Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata. Yes. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. I love the chick that always goes like super fast. I have to ask her like what vitamin is she taking? But all of those people that participated in an applause, I mean, thank you, and thank you. So thank you guys. Um, a big thank you actually to social media and Facebook. Yes, they have allowed me to do this Cool Folk Who Love the Bachata live with members from all over the world a third time. Yeah, season number three. I started doing this like at the beginning of this year, right? Okay, this is how it was. I approached Facebook a couple days before the new year began, and I said, you know what, guys? I'm entering the third year of Cool Folks, and I'm sick and tired of doing the same thing that everyone else does. Share posting, put like or love, blah, blah, blah. I want to do something unique. I want to do something different. I want to do something odd. Facebook is like, what do you want to do? I want these dancers to talk with me and tell you guys what they do when they're not dancing. Facebook is like, isn't that an invasion of privacy? I'm like, yeah. So is it? Can I do it or not? Obviously, they said no, and I said yes. It was a back and forth. Finally, they said, we give up, do whatever you want to do, and I did. So I started to interview members of Cool Folks right after the holidays, and it was good. It was great. I went from like California to Florida to Paris to Texas to Japan, and winter time came, and Facebook is like, okay, I apologize, Roswell. Okay, you're doing a good job. The ratings are good. Keep it up. So I did it again for the winter. And I went around the world virtually and I met with members of cool folks from all over the world and they did the same thing. They came live with me. They told me what they do, their events, their career goals, advice for kids, and blah blah blah. Summertime came and Facebook is like, you got to continue doing this. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting paid to do it, but I'll still do it. So I am super happy and super delighted to do this. And the main reason I'm doing this is not really for publicity or a job. I already got two full-time jobs. I don't want another one. I'm doing this because I believe through communication and learning from a dancer's experience can help you guys. It can help the world. It can save someone. It can save. Dancing has a way of saving you, whether you're depressed, you have a broken heart, thinking about like hurting yourself, thinking about hurting someone else. When you're on a dance floor, you go into a different world. You don't think about bad stuff. You don't think about being evil. You don't think about doing weird stuff. You just think about love and light and appreciation and respect and loyalty. Okay, you think about those things. At least I do, you know? So I decided to do this interview stuff because, I believe in helping people. Because everyone knows, I'm doing my PhD in human services, and I believe the world is such a disaster right now. And, people in my field, we got to do something. And this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm trying to help the world to make it a better place. There's so much going on, and without going into politics and details, I mean, think about it. We got COVID stuff is happening again. The economy is going down again. I mean, oh my gosh, we have all these violences and children, innocent kids, people that we don't know, they're getting hurt, and especially the kids. I mean, that it hits me here. You know, I mean, it's to know a little child who's not even like you know a year old or whatever, something happened to them. I mean, I can't imagine what's going on in their parents' head or their guardians' head, but guys, I mean, you know, I want everyone to come together. I want the dancers to come together. I want you guys to unite, communicate, learn from each other, respect each other, accept people for who they are and what they believe in. That's the world we live in. Simple as that, right? So all I'm saying is like everyone come together, do good, and when you do good, it comes back to you eventually. Okay. Now, cool folks who love the bachata, you guys are my people. So this is specifically for you guys. I want the organizers to begin organizing events and use some of your charities and donations to help the people that really, really need it now. People that are sick, people that are ill, you know, use all that money to help those, who really, really, deserve it. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. On a happier note, okay. Um, as everyone knows, cool folks who love to bachata. Where did I get that name from? Okay, check this out. I lived in Texas. I lived in Austin, Texas. Yeah, before I lived in Atlanta. Yeah, before I lived in Miami. I lived in a little town called Austin, Texas. It was around the time COVID was emerging, and I said to myself, "Uh-oh, the dance world is going down because people can't touch each other, they can't talk, they can't dance." And I don't want that. I want to still keep the dancing stuff up. What can I do? I created this platform. Okay. The first name that I created was Cool Man Who Loves the Bachata. Social media is like, what about the women? You're being so biased. I'm like, fine. I changed it to Cool Women Who Love the Bachata. Social media got back to me and they said, Roswell, be neutral. So I said, cool folk, well, not cool folk, but cool people who love the bachata. That was so boring. 2 minutes after I put cool folks who love the bachata, I went back to Facebook and I changed it to cool folks who love the bachata instead of cool people who love the bachata. Cool folks. So I got the name. This is my secret. I got the name folks while I lived in Texas. It just popped into my head. I wanted something different. Cool folks who love the bachata. We're all cool, all of us from all over the world. No matter what race we are, gender, religion, looks, creed, we are all cool folks who love to bachata and more. Okay? All right. Now, I am super blessed to have a member of Cool Folks to represent Austin, Texas. You know, the name of Cool Folks Love to Bachata. The magnificent Dr. Sara Thenu. And forgive me, Sarah, for pronouncing your name incorrectly. As you can tell, I look smart, but I'm not smart. So, Sara Thenu. I hope I got that right. Okay, she is here. Not only is she a doctor, she's a dancer, right? And this is what makes cool folks cool because I didn't know. I mean, I saw, yeah, I saw her, flyers of her and beautiful pictures of her dancing and whatever. But I thought to myself, wait a minute, she has to be super smart also. I mean, she is smart; she's a dancer, but she has to be super, super smart. What else does she does? This is my exactly what I'm trying to do. I want these dancers to come on to tell you guys a little bit more about them when they're not dancing. And Sarah's a good example of that. Okay, so Sarah's going to come on and tell us about her medical career and her dance career and much more. Hang tight, Sarah. I'm going to bring you on in 1 second. But let me just tell everyone I am super blessed to still be here in the New York City metropolitan area. Okay, I came back from Atlanta a couple months ago to be with my family, and it's great. New York, you guys are doing a fabulous job with the dance scene, and I love all of you guys. I've been going to your events, I've been showing up and giving my support. You guys are fabulous. So great job, New York. I am planning to come back down south in the holidays. Coming back down south to Georgia and Florida to give my support to cool folks who love the bachata. So guys, look out for me, okay? And we have two more interviews to go. Mike Calderon from Florida, and then the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Penny Salsa. Then we're going to take the winter off because I got a Christmas shopping to do, and then we're going to start these interviews over again, 2024. Okay, so I'm blessed to do this. Before Sarah falls asleep, let me bring her on because I am like I normally do. I talk for an hour instead of interviewing for an hour. Sarah, I hope you didn't fall asleep.
Almost,
Long intro.
almost.
Oh, okay. The last guy, I'm like, wake up, wake up. I'm so excited.
How can
Sarah,
I fall asleep? I'm super excited.
okay. I'm super happy to have you here because not only are you a dancer, a professional dancer, you're also an MD. You're a doctor.
Yes, I think so.
You're a doctor. Okay, so you're a what type of tell us you do the talking. Tell everyone a little bit about you, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me, Royce. It's such an honor to be here. Didn't ever expect this to happen. It's so cool that I am a part of this community. Um, well, I'm Sara Thenu. I'm Dr. Sara Thenu. I go by Sara Thenu, kind of like that Thenu rather than Tenuwara. I am from Sri Lanka, if you know where that is. I'm not Indian, so a lot of people think I'm from India. I'm not. I've never been to India. I do want to go to India. That's definitely in my bucket list. I do have a lot of Indian friends, and I love them very much. Um, but we do definitely have differences in our culture, but also a lot of similarities as well. So I was born in Sri Lanka, but I've traveled a lot. As a child, I lived in Australia for a few years because my mom did her master's degree in Australia. My mom is a really brilliant woman. Even though we don't really get along, I think we're at such strong personalities that we clash a lot. It's unfortunate, but as I get older and older, I do see that I'm a lot like her. Hopefully, when I go back home, I'm hoping to mend ties with her. Um, so I lived in Australia. I went back to Sri Lanka. I
Mhm.
do remember when I lived in Australia and I went back home, I didn't know a single Sinhalese word because I spoke in English. So I had a lot of cultural shock when I went back home. And then I studied in US when I was 15 because my mom won a scholarship at Cornell. She's
Mhm.
brilliant. She's very brilliant. And I did go to school at Ithaca High in New York. again, a little cultural shock because I was a very focused kid, and I was like very determined, very studious. So it was a big shock for me to go from a girls' school to a mixed school where I saw boys. And, being a teenager, it was like, oh my God, oh my God, these guys, they're good looking and all that, So went back to Sri Lanka. I've been all over the place. And then I went to Russia to do my MD. It was really not really planned because I did get a scholarship to US and to Maryland University. I don't know exactly what happened. I believe my mom had a lot to do with a lot of control
Mhm.
because I am coming from a divorced family, and my parents always disagreed. And that's what I remember as a child, that I think that all the revenge and the anger and frustration my mom had with my dad, she took it on me. So I had a pretty traumatic childhood. I was a rich, lost kid and growing up alone because my mom was never there. She always traveled. She was always running after her career and her degrees and she was very passionate about her job. And I think along the way, she forgot she had a child. And I think I was very traumatized by the family dynamics of growing up. I was the only child, and my dad remarried. And I think that it's the best thing that happened to him because his wife is amazing. And I really love her and we get along really well. And he married a very young wife, 16 years younger. I mean, he knew his stuff. So good for my dad. Woo. Um, so yeah, he did well. He did well. And she takes care of him. Like, he's 82 years old now, and she's still in her 60s, right, or 70s early. And so yeah, I think that finding a perfect wife for him, he really like actually lived a fulfilled life. And so yeah, so I did go back. I went back to Sri Lanka, and after I finished my MD, I studied like crazy. I mean, being a doctor is no joke. And I remember studying 12, 13, 14 hours. I can't even imagine I actually did all that. And so when I went back to Sri Lanka, I had to take all the board's exams in Sri Lanka. So I remember, like, I literally stopped my life and I studied. And and even in university, I was one of the top 5 students to graduate, like with a red diploma. And I was very serious about my studies. When I went to Sri Lanka, I also topped in forensics, pediatrics, community medicine. So I was a good student. I don't think I was this silly back then. Now I feel like I'm like really silly. And but yeah, I did my pediatrics and OBGYN residencies long time ago. And I think back then I wanted to be a obstetrician, a gynecologist. I think that was one of my passions back then. Um, Pediatrics, I know that kids really love me, but I think I fell in love with it as I did my residency, because initially I was like, I don't want to touch kids. I don't want to do this. But I think that, they really bonded with me, and I think I'm very friendly, and the kids just started to really like me. And end of my residency, I really did enjoy it. Um, and then after our residency, we have to do our post residency. So usually the way Sri Lanka, we work for the government, and so the government puts us where it's like an assignment. So I worked in Trincomalee where there was war. So um, it was tough. It was tough. And there were, it was a very poor area where there were kids who had no food, no, forget about medicine. They didn't have anything to eat. And so what we did was our residents, we would go to Colombo, which is the capital, and we would buy medicine from our own money and we would bring it and give it to the people. So, you know, we really saw the struggles of people. And I think that's what makes us different. And we're very empathetic towards other people. We're caring because we've seen poverty, we've seen how much people struggle. And that internship gave me so much exposure to what is real life and what people go through. And just one example I remember, and I, you know, now I teach my students. There was one incident where there was a woman and a child who burnt themselves because the husband was abusive and beating the crap out of them. And so she decided, okay, I'm going to burn myself and burn the kid. They both died. So there were things like that that still resonates in my head. And I'm like, man, we're so lucky to have what we have. I know I'm going a little off topic, but it's still about
That's
me
okay.
and what I've experienced in my life. And I think that it's important that people know, whoever is listening, that if you're complaining and you're saying, oh my God, I'm stressed, look around the world and see what other people are going through. Because, you know, if you have a place to live and you have food, I mean, you're better than half the people in the world with what everything that's going on. So after I did my post internship, you know, a lot of things happen in my life, like very bizarre, like kind of miraculous. I think that I never wanted to move to US. That was one thing I said I won't do. And I always end up doing the things I say I'm never going to do it, and then I end up doing it. And so so there was a tsunami, if anybody remembers, in 2004 December. There was a tsunami and 50,000 Sri Lankans died.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be one of them. And what happened was, um, so my parents, of course, my mom was like trying to kill me. Like, you gotta get married. You gotta get married. Everybody's getting married. What's wrong with you? You gotta find a dude. Like, okay, fine. So traditionally, we would invite the guys and the parents over to our house, and they'll come all dressed up and they'll see the woman, they see the girl, and the guy will say, okay, I like her, I don't like her. So basically we decide just by just a picture, you know, like, I guess we don't really get to talk much because the parents are like staring at us, right? So the guy comes and like, I'm there, my parents are there, the guy comes and his parents come, and then it's really awkward. And then after they leave, they send an email, or I mean, they call. Actually, there was no email back then. I think they call and say, hey, we like your daughter. It's like, it's kind of like a family thing. So I had seen so many guys and I didn't like anyone. And my mom was so mad. She's like, can you just find somebody, for God's sake? And so finally I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to write. So what we do is just like eHarmony and all these dating apps. So in Sri Lanka, we would write to the newspaper. And so the famous newspaper is Observer, Sunday Observer. And that's a whole page.
I gotta write
Has,
that down. I
yeah,
need
yeah,
some
yeah,
help.
write it
Yeah, I
down.
need some help
You
here.
know what? I might need it right now, actually.
I need help. I need help. Okay, yeah. Go ahead, finish.
So it's called Sunday Observer, and there's a whole section of brides and grooms. Okay. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. And so I write to the newspaper, and then this dude, you know, the parents call and said, we want to see your daughter. And so I take leave from my work because I'm so desperate. Like, I need a man. And so I come to Colombo, like, stop all my work, right? Just forget about the work. I gotta find this dude. So I come to Colombo, and here comes this mom and dad, and they just love me, right? So this guy is in America, okay, and I'm in Sri Lanka. And so the mom gives the phone number and said, hey, if you want, you can call my son. I'm like, sure, I'll call him. So I call him, and our first call was like 2 hours. We talked and talked and talked like forever. And so he had a list of girls that he wanted to see. And I was, of course, number one there, right? How can I be number two? So I was number one, and he flies in from Houston. And the first date is like, that's it. He wanted to marry me. So I was like, yeah. So we got married in 10 days. I don't know what happened to him, because anyways, something worked. So, I mean, so we got married in 10 days, which was totally unplanned. I really don't know what the heck I was thinking back then.
Do you remember his last name? Do you still know his last name?
That's why I go by Thenu, not Thenuara. You see? So I'm like, okay, I get married in 10 days. It's ridiculous. Please kids don't do this. And then I come to US. I drop everything. I'm totally in love. And I come to US. And I live happily ever after. No, just joking. That part didn't. It's not the fairy tale.
Well, maybe you did, because you came to Texas. I mean, people Austin. Right? I mean, when I came to Austin, it was like happily ever after. Then COVID happened. I had to come back home. You never know.
I know, like happily ever after, take 2, take 3, take 4. Right? I can marry 5 times. There's no rule, right? Right, Rose?
So you met. How long were you married for? You said
14 years.
And you still married?
No.
Wait a minute. So you were married for 14 years, and then you did. Oh, okay, 14. That's a long time, though, Sarah.
I know, right?
14 years. Okay, what happened? Okay, let me.
Okay, what happened?
I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I'm still looking for my, treatment. But what happened, man? I mean,
I did well for 14 years, right? I mean, come on, 14 years is pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, most marriages last for like 14 minutes nowadays.
14 minutes nowadays, I know.
Up to 14 years. No, I'm not. This is interesting. I can see like 14 days, but 14 years. I always say after 10 years, you're good until death. So what happened on the 15th?
I know, right? So I hope he's not listening to me.
I hope not. I got problems. So
thank God he's not Thank God he doesn't love bachata. Thank God he doesn't love to dance. He hates dancing. So I think that's what happened. He hates dancing. I need a dancer in my life.
So Sarah, how come you guys didn't make it to the 15th year? I'm just curious, because I'll tell you a little bit about me as soon as you finish, but I'm still looking for my perfect. And I always believe in my head, after 10 years, that's it, until death. But 14 years, what happened, man?
What happened? Oh my God, what happened? I think I need like 10 hours of interview time for all that, but I'll try to keep it very specific. I think that he was extremely controlling, and I just could not. I just could not take it. And he hates dancing. We have nothing in common, and I don't want to go into details.
Right.
But as a person, he's a good person. And he's a good person. He's from a good family. He's a good person. But I think that our personalities are completely opposite. Like, I'm fun and jovial, and I love to explore. I don't really care if I make a mistake. I don't believe in the perfect structure, because we're human and we can make mistakes, and it's okay as long as you don't harm anybody or kill anybody. How else are we going to learn if we don't make a mistake? That's how we learn. And so a lot of the things that every little thing was a conflict. And it's really hard to be with someone when everything that I do is not right. And I also think a big part of our separation was his parents, like not his dad. I think his dad's pretty cool. I think his mom was, just very, how should I say? I shouldn't say anything bad in public, but I don't
Like,
think she
like,
liked me at
like
all.
high
I don't.
expectations, like high expectations. Because I know a lot of people, when they marry into something, the parents always have this like 5, 10 years expectation of how things will be 10 or 15 years down the line. And then when the expectation doesn't happen, the mom or the dad step in and say, "Hey, this wasn't in our plan. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
it's
thinking about it. The expectations were not met, not from you, but from their end."
right. And a
Mhm.
lot of Asian parents, I think Sri Lankan parents, they
Yeah.
want their child to live up to their standards and their dreams. That's not right. This is
Mhm.
me. I'm going to live the way I want. And I cannot live for somebody else. And I tried that. And I did that for 14 years and I can't do it anymore. And so I think that we fell out of love. We had nothing in common. And I think that it's really important that when you find a partner, you have at least two, three things that you love to do together. I mean, what is the point in being with a partner if you have nothing in common? You might as well be alone, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, very
Mhm.
controlling, very rigid, very uptight. Um, but of course, like, it's almost like, the biggest thing that my mom hates me is that how dare you divorce him? How dare? Because he's the perfect husband. And honestly speaking, he is a perfect husband to a muted woman, a woman who's muted, a woman who doesn't speak up, a woman who has no dreams, a woman who doesn't have a vision, who doesn't can't speak up and doesn't have a personality. Yeah, he's perfect because he's very rich. He's a good, by standards,
Absolutely.
by standards of the society, he's the perfect person. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, if he
I
can.
can see. I mean, I'm sorry, sorry. I can see why parents, they want their child to be with someone. I mean, every parent wants that, right? Every
Yes, of
parent wants their
course.
child to be with that perfect man or the woman because when they're gone to the next world, they want to make sure their daughter's in good hands.
Right.
I mean, that's normal, even with my parents or whatever. I mean, but there's something you said made sense. Everything you said made sense. I'm thinking, and this is the first time I'm ever talking about this on air. Um, Divorce, like, something I notice, and I just want to be very open when I say this so I don't offend everyone. I notice when I go to a lot of events, and I go to a lot of events because you guys always post your stuff in my event, and I'm here, I'm there, I'm traveling, and I dance with a lot of women, you know? And the women that I dance with, I just had this talk with someone yesterday, one of my best friends. I noticed that the women that I dance with, 99% of them were married, or they were
Word.
married, they had one kid, but they're not married anymore. They're not married anymore, or their kid is grown and they're doing what they want to do now. And just listening to you, I'm beginning to think about some of the women I dance with and what they say. It seems like they got married because the parents say you got to get married, or maybe it's a religious thing. No one over 18 is single, or don't be a woman that sleeps around. You got to get married. So
Yeah.
I think they got married for the wrong reason. I don't think they got married because they wanted to. I think because they married because they had to.
Yeah, Royce, and I had so much pressure because I honestly, in my life, I never thought of a big fancy wedding. I never thought of a husband. And I think that all my friends were getting married. My parents were going crazy,
Right,
especially my mom. My
right,
dad's chill. I think, even after I got the divorce, my mom said, I'm going to kick you out of the family. You are a disgrace. How
right,
dare
right,
you? And I know what? I said, F you. You know what? Fine. I didn't say that word, but I just said, you know
right.
what? I said, okay, cool. I'll leave. Fine. Because like at a point, it's not enough is enough, right? Because I'm a grown woman. If I want to be alone, I will be alone. If I want to find somebody, well, honestly, it's hard to find anybody, anyways. But but I can't live my mom's life, she traveled around the world. She really didn't do much for me, support me emotionally. She gave me a lot of money, but if she didn't do the stuff that I expect as a child, then
Mhm.
she cannot expect me to live a life that she wants me to live. This is my life.
Mm. I mean, my brother and my sister, I have like four siblings. My older brother, my older sister, um, they got married like super young because, sort of my parents were like, you know, um, you're gonna marry this person and that's that, you know? So it's kind of funny when I think about it because a year after my sister got married, the oldest one, there was thousands of dollars that was invested in that wedding because like it was, my dad's first child, female child. And he figured, okay, it's like a princess wedding, yeah. So my older sister, I mean, it was like Paris, they were like the hall was great, the ceremony was great, the food was great. People from all over the country, because my family's from Guyana, my dad's family, my mom's family. It was like one of those Paris English super powerful weddings. A year later in a week, I remember it, I counted it on the calendar. When my older sister, as soon as my sister got pregnant, all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. Her and her husband. Remember, they were dating since high school, like maybe like
Wow.
12 years. 12 years.
Wow.
Okay. High school. And then after 12 years, I figured, we all figured it after, that's what I was telling you. After 10 years, in my head, I always thought it's solid. So we figured, oh, yeah, after 12 years of dating, and, that's a man for you. After 1 year and 1 week, hell broke loose, cussing and arguing, and then eventually custody battle. Who's going to keep the kid? So when they had their first kid, my first nephew, he was going back and forth to from New Jersey to New York, New Jersey to New York, custody battle. Say it my sister, say it the dad, say it my sister, say it. So she got divorced. I think got so bad, and obviously she moved on. She found somebody that she, loved, and she had more kids and whatever. But the bottom line, and my brother did the same. You know, he got married. He's telling my parents, "Yeah, I'm going to marry this girl," and my parents said, "Okay, go for it." Big wedding, blah blah blah, thousands of dollars invested, and after like maybe like a few months later, no, I'm going to have a divorce, mom and dad. It's not.
The
Yeah,
thing
like,
is, nowadays,
so it's just
yeah, and the
there was
thing is now,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
you know nowadays women are getting independent, right? And we
Yeah,
can work, and then especially in America, everything is available. It's not like
yeah,
we're not dependent, so it's easier for us to leave.
mhm,
And in a way it's sad, but um I think that when you get a lot of freedom, you also lose that connection and the dependability and the vulnerability.
mhm.
Because now I'm thinking, you know what? I'm fine by myself. you know
Yeah,
so if I wasn't educated, if I didn't know the language, if I didn't know how to drive, right, I would be married, I would be with somebody because I'm dependent. And I don't need that anymore. And I know Sri Lankan women who are like that.
yes, yes. I grew up in the Oprah years, so I always watch Oprah, and she's like, "I don't need somebody. I'll just be okay." And so as everyone knows, I've never been married. Just now it's public. Roswell Laurie never been married. What's his problem? Oh, because of those things. Because I grew up. It's kind of like what you're saying. I grew up with what I've seen. Maybe if I grew up with a positive environment that my sister, my people around me were married and they stayed married till death, then I would be like, yeah, you
Yep.
would not see me in the dance floor. I would probably be like in bed, with someone and raising kids or whatever. But I think it's because of this that it kind of like, So just for the record, Sarah. So tell everyone in Texas, I'm not married. I'm looking for my wife, but hopefully they're looking for me. But there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong realizing, and this is the point I want to make before we move on to other stuff. There's nothing wrong realizing, as soon as possible, that person is not for you because you don't want to be older or close to death, and then you realize I should have got married 82 years ago or 99 years ago. At least you know, you know what I'm saying. So that's a good thing to think about. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, friends move on, the marriage move on. But the thing is that you realize it then and there before not a year goes by, another 2 year. That's what makes you a cool person,
Right.
and a good person, and honest. Because if you're not honest to yourself,
Yourself.
how can you be honest with your friends and your
True.
family and the world around you?
Mhm.
I hope that makes sense, right? A little bit. I mean, it helps you a
Right.
little bit. I mean, you realize it. You realize it then.
And
You know.
and and the one thing I tell my students is that there's one thing you can never take back is time, right?
Right.
It's time because it goes so fast.
Yes.
And you can make money, you can lose money, you can make new friends, you can even have more kids, whatever, or
Right.
husbands, you can marry again. But
Right. Right. Right.
time, you cannot age. And I mean, I look back in my life and I sometimes ask God, like, if I can ever get one thing, I would ask for time. Like, go back 10 years, I definitely would do things differently, but I can't.
Mm,
But so at least now I have the present moment where I
mm,
can live the best life I can. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm very happy. That
mm,
doesn't mean that I have bad days. And like today in the morning, I just kind of had a really bad day. And I went to Starbucks and I was like feeling really down because I'm having to make a lot of life changes on my own. And I was hoping that I would do it with somebody, but that didn't work out. So I was kind of disappointed at myself, at him. And I just
right.
went to Starbucks and I was like, man, what the heck? And
Oh,
this
yeah.
girl working there, she brought me a cake and water and she sat with me and she talked to me. And I was like,
Mhm.
man, people are so amazing. She didn't charge me. And I was like, wow, how wonderful. And I wanted to pay it forward. And a lot of good things happen to me like that. Like, I feel like when you're positive and you show positive energy, good people attract you. And I've met a lot of amazing people within the last 3 4 years, and I'm so blessed to be
Mhm.
so close to my friends. And friends are my family here, Royce. I mean, who do I have here in America? Friends. That's it.
Mm.
I have a few relatives, but they're in California, Maryland, here and there. But in Austin, it's my friends. I love my friends to death. And then,
Yeah.
they're my family.
That's one thing I learned about Austin. I'm happy you brought Austin up because that's one thing I realized. When I was supposed to be in Austin only for like 4 weeks because it was a temporary job, like legal. Like I review contracts for a law firm, so I got offered a job in Austin, Texas by chance, and I said, okay, I'll just pack and go. I didn't know anyone, and after 4 weeks, I did not want to leave. I didn't want to come back to grouchy and New York and New Jersey and I mean the people here are friendly. Don't get me wrong. Oh God, I don't want New Yorkers to kill me, but talking about
You're in
Austin is
trouble,
different.
Royce.
Something about Austin is different from New York and New Jersey. Like in Austin, people are so much friendlier. They're so much open. There's so much. It's a you. The friends become family.
Yes,
So I
definitely.
I I could relate to you. So I agree with you. I also want to say something real quickly. I felt that way just yesterday. Like 7 o'clock, I got up. Sundays are the worst, Sarah. I don't know if you feel. I don't know if those feelings get to you. Sundays is when it gets to me because for some odd reason, Sundays is like the slow day, and I'm not rushing. So I open my eyes. I'm like, okay, God, I made it through another day. But damn, I'm still single. Damn, I haven't found the right person. So I can relate to you, and I think now that I'm super thinking about it, I think you and I and most people that can relate to us, those feelings come to us more when we're not occupied with stuff. Because during the week, I mean, think about it. During the week, you're in a you're doing doctor stuff and I'm doing dance stuff and stuff. So we don't really take a minute to think about, oh God, look at our life. Where
I
were we
know, I am
yesterday? We
so
we
lonely.
don't think about those stuff until like at least for me, like like on a slow day. And so Sundays, I hate Sunday. What's and Mondays. So my friend Wendy, if you're listening, Wendy, I interviewed Wendy and Rodrigo. So Wendy told me live on air, like Roswell, Monday is the best day and it's about love. And so I'm like, no, it's not. It's
No, it's
happy.
not. But for
It's
me, Sunday
happy.
is amazing because Sunday we have Rockies, Manuel, you know Manny,
Oh
right?
yeah, I know. I used to go
And so,
there.
yeah, and so Rockies has turned into a actually a family thing.
Mhm.
So it's like the same people every Sunday, and we know
Yeah.
everybody. And I'm really looking forward to my Sundays because I have my girlfriends that I'm connecting, because
Mhm.
it's hard to make girlfriends because you're always dancing with guys, right? But you cannot have that special connection with men like you have with women, because
Okay.
especially women kind of my age, we relate, we have the same issues, we have the same, breakups, whatever that we have, and we can talk about those things. And so Rockies is one place that I have girlfriends that I really like and I get along, and I look forward to all my Sundays because I usually try to go to Rockies. And Manny, I know Manny forever now, and he jokes around and says
Mhm.
like inappropriate things to me sometimes in a funny way. We're very close. So
So
he would
Rockies is
tease me
still
about things. He would tease
Rockies
me.
is
That's
still
all I'm gonna say.
Rockies is still open, right? On
Yeah,
Sundays?
Rockies is open. Yeah, and yeah, so I look forward to the Sundays. Monday is my slow
Okay.
day, and then Wednesdays I just started Lisa Vargas's dance team, so
Mhm.
I'm excited about that. I've been waiting to join her team for a while
Mhm.
because I did Kaylor's
Yeah, Taylor. Yeah.
ladies team.
Yeah, yeah. I know Taylor. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I did that for 2 seasons, and I wanted a little change. Um, and yeah, so I love to perform. I think that it brings us confidence and happiness.
Mhm. Right, right.
And I know you touched about like kids, and I really think that every kid should dance, at least get an opportunity to dance, because that gives so much um opportunity for them to come out of their little cocoon, you know. And I think
Mhm.
after COVID, these kids are so used to being on their own. They
Mhm.
don't know how to communicate. Most kids don't even know how to say thank you, please. None of that. It's gone. So I'm reteaching all these kids that I have, and guys, hello. You need to know at least the basic etiquettes. No one wants to do group projects. They always ask, can I do it on my own? No, no, you can't. You have to be able to talk to somebody else, another human being. You cannot live alone.
Right.
And I really think that extracurricular activities should be mandated at least to try,
Right.
because especially dancing and singing and things that challenge your confidence is really
Mhm.
important.
Right.
Because
Children. I mean, I and it's a good. This is a good time to ask you this question about children. I mean, like when I was younger, um, when my parents first came to this country, Sarah, this was back in the '70s. My parents are from Guyana, so we lived in a tiny, tiny little basement in not such of a nice area of New Jersey,
Mhm.
and it was like, you know, it was a small basement. Like my siblings, my parents, my aunt, we all shared like one bed, and most of us slept on the floor. And I didn't really have much opportunities like my friends and peers. I didn't really. I used to wear the same. I hate to say this, but I used to wear the same sneaker at gym like almost every week until
Mhm.
it ended up with holes. And kids used to make fun of me. It's like, Russell, your dad can't like afford new sneakers for you. I'm like, no, really. So that's one of the reasons, when I got older, I decided to work at Macy's, and I used to sell shoes, not for the money, but for personal reasons. Because when I was a kid, people used to make fun of me every day in school because I used to go to school with shoes that had holes in them. Okay, so and that's one example. And I grew up around an environment where my dad is like, don't go out, don't touch it, don't talk to these people, like overprotective. I came from one of
Mhm.
those families. super protective. Just come home, do your work, do your homework. So everything on Saturdays and Sundays were in my house was homework, 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 homework. That's how I ended up going for my bachelor's in psychology, my master's in sociology, PhD in human services. Even though I'm working on my dissertation now, I'm doing legal stuff. That's only because I come from that household where things were like school, 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 and school,
Right.
school. Everything else can wait. Marriage, kids, and
Yeah.
all that stuff can wait.
That's why you're
Dancing,
single. Come on. And
yes,
you're like confused about it. You have the
but
answer.
but the bad thing is that when you're overprotective of your kids, like super overprotective, that may not be good because on one end you're trying to protect them from harm and danger, but then again, you're they're missing out on stuff in the world. Like for
Oh yeah.
example, like I didn't like really like go to my first dance club until I was like 30 something years old. Or I didn't have my first car until I was like maybe 31. Or I didn't like travel the world until I was almost 40. And I'm like, I'm pretty old now, and so, but the good thing is that I never, up to this day, never drank, never smoked, never did drugs, never did any of those stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that
Right.
it's just because I came from that
Yeah,
type,
that environment.
very tight environment. So I guess my point to you is that um, children nowadays, not many kids that I know live that life that I had. Kids nowadays are very um, aggressive. They talk back to their parents, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Hell with school and whatever. I'm going to get married now, age 16 and whatever, or what." Oh, the bottom line is that if a child comes up to you, and you should know this because you can see you seem very genuine. You seem very you can feel people, Sarah. You
I
seem like
do.
the type that can feel people, and you can know if someone is being ethical with you, not only honest but ethical. The kid is coming up to you, and they say um, they would like to become the next professional dancer, right? And you can see it in their eyes. They're serious about it. They're willing to leave home and leave their, whatever, and you know, but you know that it's tough out there. You're a doctor, so you know that you just can't tell them, yeah, go for it, because you know it's tough out there and there's a lot going on and blah blah blah. And I mean, you come from a medical background, so I mean, you're not going to tell them, you know, yeah, go for it, and any more questions, ask Roswell. I know you're not going to do that, but then again, you don't want to discourage them, right? When you were growing up, you just shared about the story with your mom and stuff. I mean, you want to guide them, but then again, you don't want to turn them away. So, how would you like? What would your response be? Yeah, let me ask you that. What would your response be if the little one comes up to you and say, I'm going to become the next professional dancer, and I'm dead serious about it? You know, what would you say? I'm just curious because you're not a typical dancer. You have a medical background. You come from you were married, and you're a dancer now. You're
I'm
paying
not
for.
even Hispanic, for God's sake.
You're not even Hispanic. There you
I
go.
know,
So
right?
your answer, I don't know. I'm just good. How will your answer be to this person? Remember, this person. It could be anyone. It can be like someone from a different nation, a different culture. Maybe not from Austin. I mean, maybe from Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
Really? I mean, so
right.
I don't know, man. How would you respond to this
I
little
think
one?
I would definitely think about the age. I mean, is this child 5, 10, 15? It depends on, you
Younger than
know,
me.
younger than
Just
you
say, I
and the
just say younger
child.
than me.
So basically, younger than 18, I believe.
Yes.
So I think that if it all depends on my primary response would be depending on the age, right? So let's say 16-year-old kid comes and says, I want to be this professional, I want to be like J Lo. um I am definitely going to be honest because I want to see, does this kid have the potential? What have this kid done before?
Mhm.
Like a resume, what are the other factors that can um, add to this dream of this child, right?
Mhm.
So, and I think that as an adult, as a parent, I have to be honest. And if this kid has never danced and never been in dance teams or doesn't have any rhythm, well, sorry, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So even though I'm very blunt and I definitely will be honest, so it all depends. You have to have talent. You
Mhm.
have to have talent, and yes, we can do so much to um, be able to be professionally competent.
Mhm.
But I also think that, not everybody can be like Michael Jackson, right? Not everybody can be like Elvis Presley or Queen, because they have that
Mhm.
inborn talent that no one else has. And
Right.
so I'm yes, you have to dream big, you have to follow your dreams. I would definitely encourage the child, depending on the past history, I guess, if you look at medical terms. But I also will tell the child to have a backup plan as well, because that's life, right? um, because look at my life, I am a pediatrician, but coming to US, with all the stuff that happened in my personal life, I gave up my medical career and I became a nurse. So I'm also a registered nurse, and
Mhm.
I worked as a registered nurse for like 10, 15 years.
Mhm.
And then I changed that career again and I got my teaching degree. And
Mhm.
so I teach. And so, I think that it's really important that one should be adaptable and
Mhm.
accept things in life, because I'm also a psych nurse. And I
Mhm.
think that a lot of people end up with depression and suicidal thoughts and all these things because they cannot accept who they are, right? They
Mhm.
cannot accept a failure. They're not able to withstand defeat. So yes, we all have dreams. Like sometimes, I want to go back to being a doctor, but at the same time, I'm very happy with what I have right now. So I
Mhm.
think that when I give advice to kids, I take me as an example and I tell them, look, I was trained to be a doctor. Right
Mhm.
now I'm not, but I still have the degree, I have the license, and I can always go back to that. And so
Mhm.
you want to be adjustable and
Mhm.
adaptable in life. And yes, follow your dreams, but keep in mind that you also have to have a little bit of luck in life. And
Mhm.
I think, I don't know if it's karma or if it's the universe has already planned our lives. I think, is my life already pre-programmed that I couldn't control the day I was born, I can't control the day I'm dying. So everything else, is it already programmed that I was supposed to be here doing this interview with you? Was it already planned, or is this coincidence? I don't know. And so I think that,
Mhm.
you know I always tell my students to dream big, but I also think that if it didn't work out, okay, you have to have some other plan and
Mhm.
be content with it, right?
Mhm.
So that would be my advice to I have a dream of dancing with JLo one day. I still have the dream, and I hope she's listening. And so
You got a lot of dreams there. Let's go.
I dream big. I dream big. I don't even sleep, but I dream. I sleep 3 hours and I dream the rest of the time. So yeah, so I think that you know, always follow your dream, but if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. You will, find something else that you can do.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason I ask you the question because your response is unique compared to other people that I interviewed because I mean again you have like a medical background, you have a dance background, a cultural background, like a relationship background. So your answer was very unique. I mean I like the point where you brought in some of the medical stuff that similar to like your patient where you give like medical advice or whatever, you look at their history or the patient's past or something. So that
Yeah.
was sort of part of your answer to the little one. So not many people respond that way when they go live with me because not many of them have like a nurse and a medical background. So
Right.
I
I feel
love the
like
way. Yeah,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
love your response. It was very unique.
Well, I think I'm very unique. I really think I'm a limited edition because,
Mhm.
I'm a dancer, I'm an author. That
Yeah.
also happened by accident. Like F.A. Davis,
Mhm.
I
Yeah, tell
actually
us
went.
about that. Yeah, go ahead. Tell
Yeah.
us about that.
So I went to this conference and I did a presentation, just a random presentation. And I didn't know the publisher was watching me. And after the presentation, these guys came to me and said, "Hey, by the way, we're from F.A. Davis. Would you like to write a book?" I was like, "What the heck? Really?" You're joking. And so I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll write the book." And I remember, I don't think this happened in 2019. Like,
Mhm.
I remember staying up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and writing. And so I did one mistake because I didn't sign royalty. And so I don't really make any money from it, but it's okay. It's an experience. So at this age, I don't look back and regret anything. Whatever happened, happened for a reason. And so there's no point regretting or stressing out. And I tell my students all the time, why are you stressing out? Is that going to help you do better in a test? Is that going to help you get a better grade? No. If you're stressed, you're losing something. So even when I perform, I have zero anxiety, zero stress, nothing. Like even now, like I don't have that at all. Like
Mhm.
I think I'm fearless. And I think I have programmed my mind to be that way. I don't think I was born like that, but I
Mhm.
think over the time, and I'm older now, and I that's what I tell my students all the time. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. If you believe that you can do something, you can. You can't start something with like, oh, I can't do this. Then you cannot do it. And so yeah, so the book. Now it got approved to all the Texas schools, so it's probably gonna be distributed in all the schools.
Good.
So I know. I
Congratulations. That's
mean, you
good.
know.
That's good. Post it
Thank
on our
you.
webpage. Post that on our webpage, please. Post it on the Cool
Yeah,
Podcast
I
message.
will. I mean, a lot of the things that happened in my life, good and bad,
Mhm.
just happened. And now I'm like, I just let life take me wherever.
Mhm.
I can honestly find a job anywhere. I don't have a problem with that.
Mhm.
I have my nursing license. I just got my Hawaii license as well. I probably will get a California license. I can work anywhere. But there's a reason why I'm in Austin right now. And once that obligation is completed, I will be moving from Austin. That's something that I've decided to do.
Yeah, royalty. Guess what I do? I work for a toy company. I mean, I work for. I mean, it's a temporary job remotely. My background is legal. I review contracts. I'm working. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned royalty. I do the SQU, like the royalties for
Uh,
toy companies, like to make sure that those people that put their names on the toys, they get paid for it. God,
yeah.
you should. If I met you a while ago to go on live, I'd be like, Sarah, remember to
Well,
put your royalties on. I could have helped you with your
Royce,
profession.
I will be writing my second book. So, yes,
Okay, so you know
that's
who
in
to
my bucket
contact
list.
now.
I have a long bucket list. So,
Oh God, yeah, 'cause my background is legal. I'm not an attorney. I'm a contract specialist, and I've
uh,
been doing corporate law all for a long time. Like, I review like NDAs and disclosures, and I do AML. Like, I'm more of a corporate man. That's my background. So stuff like that, I'm not saying I'm an expert in those fields, but I'm very aware of stuff like that. Like I used to work years ago also for Penguin in New
oh,
Jersey.
okay.
And yeah, so I'm just familiar with, like, I used to work at Toys R Us. I used to work at the toy company many years ago before they closed down. I
Many,
worked in
many years
legal.
ago. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
legal. I did trademark. So my background is like kind of like entertainment law. Um, but uh, but that's a
My
good
dad's a
advice.
lawyer. My
Yeah,
dad's a lawyer.
I was thinking about doing that, but it's not I mean, I got the brains, but again, go back to the personality. It's just, I don't know. I decided to do human services because it's more my personality than doing attorney stuff. It's just,
You know,
I just
Royce,
live in Roswell. Yeah. Uh-huh.
if I have time in my life, I want to be a lawyer. I mean,
Really?
yes, I love law. Actually, there were a couple of times I went to just observe. I would go to the docket and just listen. And I'm like fascinated. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could be a lawyer. I don't
I'm
know. That's
sick of
all.
them. I'm
I
sick
know.
of
Can
them.
you imagine if I can be a lawyer? That would be so cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just sick of lawyers. No offense. I mean, I've been around attorneys since I was like 18. I'm just like, I want to be around doctors now and dancers. I want to be around doctors and dancers. My last few days on this planet, I want to be around doctors and dancers. You know,
Oh,
with lawyers, I'm sick of them.
I know, right? I mean, I hope and I wish that, there are so many things that I didn't do, and I hope that I will have time in my life to do all of the other things that I dream of, because it's so wonderful to dream big, like, okay, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does work, and you imagine the end of the day, I want to help people, like whatever way I can. And I
Mhm.
think that most of these successful people like Steve Jobs and Oprah and all these super brilliant, rich people, their primary focus was not to make money. Their primary
Mhm.
focus was to do something for people.
Right.
And because of that, they made billions. And I think that, and I tell my students, don't be a doctor, don't be in this program if you want to make money. That should not be your primary goal. Your primary
No.
goal should be, man, I really want to help these people, man, I want to find a cure for cancer. And yes, money will come to you, money will
Mhm.
chase you if you are in the right path. That's how I feel about life.
No, no, you're absolutely right. And I told my cousin this because, like I was telling you before the interview, my uncle is a doctor, and then my cousin decided to become a doctor, and I think it's the main reason, because of that, because it's going to pay bills and stuff. And I tell him, it took a while for me to get through to him, but I said, don't be follow your dad's footsteps because of the money and stuff. Follow your dad's footsteps because he he really wanted to do it, not because he have to do it. So because he's a young. My cousin is younger than me, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make more money. I'm gonna travel the world." Like, yeah, doctors do that, but then again, what happens when there's a patient in front of you dying, and then it's only you and the patient, and then there is when you'll know if you're really a doctor or not. You know, that's where the would in. So, but he's on the right path now, and but sometimes he gets carried away, and he's like, oh, I'm a doctor. He comes bragging here, knocking on the door, telling my mom, like, oh, I'm a doctor. I'm like, we know that. How many times are you going to tell us that? Oh God, go save people and leave us alone. You know?
I think that people just mature at different ages. And I think a lot of us mature at 40 and above. And I think till then, you're
Yeah.
like probably all over the place. You're running after money, you're running after women. I don't know what. But I think once you hit your 40s, you kind of start to slow down and think, hey, what is life really? What do I really want? What is that I'm passionate about? So I think most of us in our 40s kind of know life, and people in their 20s kind of have no idea, 30s so. And I think 40s is a good age that we kind of like, okay, we know
Yeah.
life.
When you hit your 40s, you also begin growing a beard. That's not even
Gray hair.
symmetrical. So yeah, a lot of stuff happened when you're in your 40s for
I
me
know,
and women.
right?
You know. Let me get back to that. I didn't plan to ask you this, but like you, this is a good time to ask you.
Don't ask my age because you're not gonna get it.
Oh no, 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 no. What do
I'm
women
only
look for? No,
25.
no, 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 no. I got a more important stuff to ask you that about age. What do women look for? Tell me this. Maybe you can help me in this. I know we're off the topic here. What do women look for on a dance floor? Like, I mean, I mean,
You got me here, Royce.
I
Come
mean, I
on.
didn't plan to ask you this, but you seem so super cool. Like guys, like I don't even know what guys look. I mean,
What do we
um,
want from a guy in the dance floor? Is that what you're
we're
asking?
not just talking about like a one night stand. Like, if, like, I mean, we're. I know. Okay, okay. Me. Okay. My problem is that um, when I meet someone, I'd like to get to know them a little bit before I go dancing with them because, and then I have conversations with people while I'm dancing and the music is pumping. And a girl is like, Roswell, this is not school. This is not a museum. This is not Starbucks. This is a dance club. Dance with me and stop talking and asking questions. I'm like, how do I know you're real? How do I know you're not psycho? How do I know you're a girl? So I just can't
Mhm.
help it. I think it's because like again, maybe the way I was raised and maybe I'm a too logical guy. Like it's hard for me to like loosen up and let my mind be free. Like just 2 days ago, I walked into New York, I'm sitting there like I'm about to like blow up the place or whatever, And then some girls that don't really know me, they're looking at me like, why is that guy sitting there looking at us? It's just who I am. I'm just observing you. That's it. So I got to be careful to stop that craziness, but I can't help it. I mean, that's me as a guy. You girls, like, what goes on in your head when you guys are like on these dance? Like, I know you. I don't know, man. Like, you guys, you, you go
Okay,
dancing
me.
this weekend. You got all dressed up. I know. What's your purpose, man? Like, what are you trying to? What,
Okay,
what
so
goes on in
here's
your guys' head?
my honest
Yeah,
answer. Okay,
yeah.
I go to dance, period. I don't go to dance to date. I don't go to dance to take them home. I want a good connection and I want to enjoy the dance 100%. I don't want you to talk to me. I don't want that bullshit. Like, just dance and make a connection. Give me quality dancing. I
Gotcha.
literally stop talk. I don't answer. When guys start talking to me, I don't talk. I'm like, can you just shut up and just dance?
Okay.
I don't like it at all. So because if I want to date, I can find other ways to date, like dating apps, through
Mhm.
friends, whatnot. But when I go to dance, I mean, trust me, no one has ever asked me out. So, like, in the dance floor, nobody, because I think they kind of see
Oh,
my energy, like, they probably won't even approach me because I really am very focused in my dance. And
okay.
even when I go for like classes, I'm very focused in the dance. And I've
Okay.
heard from a lot of my friends, like later on, people will come to me and say, "Oh my God, Sarah, you looked so like rude." And then they see me giggling, after the dance, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're actually fun." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just programmed to be very focused." So
Mhm.
like when I dance, I dance. I don't do other stuff. Unless, like my friends, like Manny, I would joke with him
Yeah,
because,
yeah, I don't
I
mind.
know him for a long time. But like with my friends that I'm close to, I will talk. But everybody else, don't talk to me.
Okay.
Don't try anything other than actually dance with me. And so I'm very like, I'm older. I'm not 20. So to me, I don't like that entertainment at all.
I
So
got you.
period.
Okay. Okay. So remind me when I see you in Texas. Let's have a conversation before we go. I don't
No,
want you to
you
yell
are,
at me while we go. Remind me to let's have a 2 hour conversation so I can ask you all my Roswell questions. So when we
yes,
dance, you're
you
warning
cannot
me.
talk to me. You can
You're warning.
smile. You
Yes.
can look at me all you want, but you cannot talk to me. You can only say,
Okay.
"Hi, Sarah. Thank you for the dance." That's it. We're
Okay.
done.
There's 3 million witnesses to this, so there's no way I'm going to screw up with you. Like 3 million people are going to remind you. Did you ever talk to Sarah? Remember what she told you on national air? Okay. I think my problem is just because I'm so legal. Like my mind is, it's hard to relax. Like I can't because I'm always suspicious of people 25
Why?
hours
It's
a
only
day.
a dance.
I mean, I can't. It's hard.
What
This
can
is
a
what hap-
woman do to you, Royce?
this is
It's
what
just
happens when
a
you.
dance.
This is what happened when you work with attorneys like 25 hours a day. It's like you become like it's hard to relax. Like I'm like a couple days ago, I'm dancing with someone, right? And then my back of my head is like, wait a minute. Is she dancing with me because she really danced with me, or she planning to do something?
But
And
why
then
are
my
you
eyes
so
begin to like squinch
overthinking
like this.
about it?
I'm
Royce, why are
telling
you
you,
overthinking? It's just
I
a
don't
dance.
know, Sarah. I don't know. I can't help it. I try not to overthink. Oh God, I can't believe I'm cool man who loves a bachata. I mean, I can't. It's
You're
hard
supposed to be
sometimes.
cool, not
I
suspicious.
I can't help it.
You need to change. You need to change. Suspicious folks who love to bachata.
I got problems. Trust me, I got problems. I can't help it sometimes. I mean, I
I
just
honestly don't distrust anyone. I just go there. Like 99% of the times, I'm the one who asks the guys. I'm so used to asking guys to dance with me. It's like
Oh,
almost no guy will ever ask me to dance. No one will ask me to dance.
that's not
It
true.
is true. No one
In
will ask me to
Austin?
dance.
Not in Austin,
Austin,
Texas.
yes. It's almost like they're like, oh my God, this is Sarah. Let's look away. And I would literally go and, hey, do you want to dance? And I never get asked to dance. Never. I'm telling you. I don't
Oh,
know what it
man.
is, but they don't ask me. And you know what? I don't want to go and waste my time. So I go and ask the guys. I'm like, do you want to dance? Do you want to dance? Do you want to dance? Okay, let's dance.
I think I know. Okay, this is the thing with guys. I think with guys, I think what we're afraid of is rejection. I know
I
rejection is
never
like
say
something
no
we have
to
to.
anybody. And I don't
Mhm.
do that. That's rude. I feel like even if you don't know two steps, I still will dance with you, but I will critique though. There was one time I told the guy, like, you know, you really need to take classes. You have no idea of what you're doing. And I think he went and told somebody else, like, oh my God, that girl. I'm being honest. Hello, if you don't know anything, then please go and learn. Because I
Ooh,
started with zero and I learned because I wanted to dance.
okay.
And so if you are somebody you have no idea of how to dance, then don't come to social dancing and
Mhm,
ask a girl and you have no idea of how to dance. Then at
mhm,
least then come to me and tell me, hey Sarah, I have no idea. Can you show me some steps? But the
mhm,
problem is I am not a teacher. So I don't know how to teach you. I will
mhm,
follow you all you want, right? I'm a very good follower, but unfortunately, I don't know how to teach you. I don't have that talent to teach a guy to dance. And so
okay.
that you should go to Fabian or you should go to Lisa and go and learn
You know,
because that's not my job to teach you. I'm here to follow you. I'm not here to teach you. And so I did tell one guy, and I don't feel sorry either because you cannot expect to ask me and you have no idea. What am I supposed to do? Just stand there? You
no, tell
know,
him to go live with Roswell to talk about.
I
No, I
don't know
want to
who
go.
it is. It
I
was a
could
while
talk
ago.
live. I'd love to go live with this person. Like, what did you do to Sarah?
I
Tell
know,
me, I
right?
want to listening.
Yeah, I think he got pretty hurt, but I don't know him, but
It's
at least
okay. But
it should be a challenge. Like, if you feel hurt from somebody, then you have to evaluate, why did I get hurt?
right,
Is it something that I need to work on, or is it something that is her behavior, or is it her mistake? So if, people hurt me all the time, but I go back and I think, why did I get so hurt? Is it me? Maybe it's me. And then reevaluate, how can I make this better? How,
right.
because I remember this one Indian guy, and I really like him. So, I'm coming from a Sri Lankan culture in a 14-year marriage where I never touched another man, right? So for 14 years, I was with this one husband, right?
Right, right,
So after I got the divorce, I was like kind of in a shock, like, oh my God, what's happening?
right.
So, I love dancing. I've always loved dancing my whole life. And I go to this Houston Congress and I'm all dressed up with long sleeves because I didn't want any guys touching my skin, and I'm like wearing ridiculous shoes and looking like an idiot. And I'm like, okay, no one's dancing with me. And this was like 2 years ago. So I'm like looking around and everybody's looking sexy. And, all these girls with makeup and, exposed and, good and sexy and all that. And I'm looking like, huh, why isn't anyone dancing with me? So this Indian guy, I forgot his name, he's an instructor.
Hmm.
He was so blunt and I love him because he had the courage to tell me. He said, Sarah, look around, look at these women, look how they're dressed, look at
Hmm.
their shoes, look at their
Hmm.
makeup, and look
Hmm.
at you. And I was like, oh, this is why they don't dance with me. Okay, I wasn't that good also, but on
Hmm.
top of that, I looked ridiculous with, all covered up and like a nun. and and
Okay.
um and I was like, yeah, I should change. I should change. So then I started, wearing better clothes and
Mhm.
looking a little more presentable. And still, they don't dance with me. I don't know. Still, I have to ask them, but they do dance.
I think after this interview, everyone's going to be asking you to dance now.
I know, right? That's the
I'm
whole idea.
pretty sure everyone from Cool Folks, I know you guys are listening. I'm pretty sure things are going to
Please,
change
right?
for
Come
you.
on.
Things are going to change for you quickly. Trust me, after this interview. You don't have to ever worry about this dance stuff, people.
I don't have to ever
Things are
worry,
going to
right?
change. Things are going to change for you all over the world wherever you go now. So, let
No,
me ask you this.
I love my dance people. I love my guy friends. I love them. I have so many guy friends, and I really don't think of them as guys. I think of them as, I really don't have a gender difference. Honestly, in my mind, they're my friends, guys,
Okay.
girls. I don't feel that, oh, this is a guy, so I should treat him different, because they're very close to me. They're like brothers and sisters.
Yeah. True, true, true. It's about respect and feeding. Treating everyone equally. That part I could relate to. And everything else. Let me ask you a quick question about collaboration. In the beginning of this interview, I mentioned about all this craziness that's going on around the world, and I mentioned some examples. And dancers got to come together, support one another, and help the world make it a better place. Sarah, is a Saturday night in a major city, right? It could be Austin, it could be New York, it could be Japan, Italy, Pennsylvania, wherever, a major city, right? And five of the world's top-notch, well-known, and most loved organizers that live within 5 miles radius are all having their same events on that same Saturday night. Okay, this guy John donated, well, not donated, but invested 11,000 for his event.
Hmm.
Okay, Mary invested like maybe 22,000 for her event. Right, Miguel invested like maybe 8,000 for his event. Okay. Um, Tia and dished out 17,000 for her event, and then Johnny dished out maybe about like I don't know, maybe 6,000 for his event. Okay. The bottom line is that they all invested so much in their event, for the DJs, the performers, all that good stuff. Blah 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 blah. People like you and I, Austin, America, we all have to go to these events. They're our friends, and plus the publicity. We don't want them to know that Sarah and Roswell is in town, and we're not showing up. It doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we're good people, right? So you and I and about maybe 9 other people attended this event. Okay, John's
Hmm.
event. Then we decide to go to the second person on Maria's event, right? And there's 12 other people there, we noticed. And you and I and everyone else, we've been there for like 4 hours. Okay? The night's not over. We have to give our support and love to this guy. So we hop in Uber or whatever, we go to this event, and we notice there's like maybe like 9 people. Ooh, 9 people, and this guy dished out a lot. Okay. Okay. We go to this event. Okay. A good mix, maybe like 22 people, but still 22, and he dished out all. Anyway, still something's not right here. Our little friend, oh boy, it's like we're about to cry. There's only maybe like 8 people showed up at this event. Okay, to make matters worse, it's 5 a.m. in the morning, and I get a little grumpy because I didn't get to dance with anyone. You didn't get to dance with anyone. He didn't get to dance with anyone. She didn't get to dance with. Okay, because we've been traveling all over, going here, going there, giving her love, giving her support. We didn't really have fun. It felt like work. Let's get more complicated here. On Monday morning, Monday morning comes the accountant or the bookkeeper or the smart guy talks to John. John is like, out of what, 22 that I invested, how much am I getting back? His accountant said, you're getting back $250, bro. The accountant goes to this guy and say, all that thousand that you invested, you get it back maybe just like um maybe like $92. Ooh. our friend here, right? That had all these like people that showed up, a good mix of people. Out of like what 11,000 he invested, he got maybe like $180 back. Okay, guy number four. Oh God, I would say maybe like 320, and they invested like maybe 11,000, $320. So, and this person here, I didn't even want to go there. It's sad. It's sad. So my problem is that next weekend happens, and they do the same crap. Next month happens, they do the same crap. Next year happened. It keeps going on and on and on like a circle. So my issue is that what's going on in these people's head, or maybe it's all a game, or maybe they didn't really, it's not really their money, they're borrowing the money or some, or maybe they're trying to show machoism or so, I don't know, or maybe they're rich, or maybe they're super stupid. I don't know. The problem is that maybe it's not a problem. Yeah, let's back up for a second. Maybe it is not a problem. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing here. Sarah, for your experience, right? Um, how could how could this not happen? How could this be prevented? Like how? I mean, how is it possible that maybe next Saturday night, this Saturday night, if you go out, you know, my example, you don't see. You could be like, oh, Roswell made this up. Do you think it's possible that this doesn't happen often, or how can it be prevented? How can these five amigos better collaborate? You
Can
know,
they do one main event together?
I mean, yeah, I mean, they could do one main event together, but it doesn't really happen that often. You know, that's the problem here. More of these are happening, and it doesn't have to be five. Okay, I'm making these up. It maybe could be three main events, but the problem is that you know you don't see one. You just don't see one event in one night. You see like one, maybe two or three or five, and they're all doing their own things, but they're not accumulating much. Yes, it
Right,
would be
but
a
it
perfect
happens
world.
everywhere, right? I mean, it happens here too because, like, let's say Friday night, usually we have Fiogo Friday, and
Right,
then
which I love, which I love. I go there. I
yes,
used to
it's
go there.
it's it's
I love.
amazing. It's great. And
Right.
then we have like I am might do another event on Friday, and then there'll be like some other event. So people are scattered,
Hmm.
and then we tend to not have the best dances in one place.
Okay.
But I don't know if we can prevent it because only the way that we can prevent is that all those three, four people can come together and have a bigger venue,
Okay.
and they can split the shares. Like let's say they get a bigger hall, and we obviously love to have more people to dance in one place. Like in
Hmm.
sun on Sundays we have Rockies and then we have Halcyon, so half the people are split. Some people
Hmm.
come to Rockies, some people go to Halcyon, and then
Hmm.
like it's sad that we split, but also it is reality, right? Like it
Hmm.
is it is what it is, unless those two people get together and say, hey, let's do it together, let's collaborate, and let's split the income, profits
Right.
into two. But it's like okay, let's say I am a pediatrician here and I'm working and I have a clinic,
Mm.
and there's like 10, 15 other pediatricians also having their clinics.
You're right.
I mean, it is what it is. If I'm
But
more talented and if I'm more presentable, if I'm more knowledgeable, more people will come to me. So
but I
how
think
can
my
we stop that, right?
right. But the thing that bugs me, I'll be honest with you, forgive me for asking you. I ask everyone this when I go live. I just like it's
Yeah.
not a right or wrong answer, Sarah. I just just something that whoever's listening to this, maybe your response is helping them. Maybe an organizer is like, what's going on. So, but my concern is that if if I if I had like 11,000 dollars to dish out, right? And then Monday and Tuesday come, and I only get like less than a percent, a couple dollars. that would tell me instantly, Roswell, come on,
But
you know. But
Ross,
then again, I do it
Ross,
again next week and next week and next week. That part I don't get. Forgive me, and I'm not only for me. It's a
well,
general question I'm
can
asking.
I
Yeah,
answer with one word?
sure. Go ahead.
Probably it's an ego.
The ego.
Because
Hmm.
let's say I'm organizing every Saturday,
Okay.
and then you start your own club and your dance scene on the same day.
Right.
So then the people who come to me will be split into two places, and so I won't make the money that I made before. But even though I am going off business or I am at a loss, I definitely have an ego where I'm not going to stop
Okay.
because I started it first, so I got to have it. So, you know, and you
Okay.
don't want to go ask the other person, hey, how about we collaborate? How about, because I think a lot of people have so much ego that they don't want to be second to anybody else. So even if I'm losing money, god damn it, I'm doing this, I'm keeping this business even if I'm at a loss, because I have so much ego
Mhm.
that I don't want to surrender to anybody else. I mean, it's kind of human
Okay.
psychology, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
That's
I noticed this a lot because, like, I mean, without mentioning names or event, because I mean, I see everyone post things to begin with. You know, everyone, all you guys like post your stuff. So I see all the events happening, and I go and I see stuff, and sometimes I'm like, oh God, I feel, I just want to give my support to everyone in the same night, and then
right.
I see what goes on, and I'm like,
But
it
I
is what
also
it is.
think it's good that there are variety, because
Yeah.
like, let's say I might like a certain venue, I might like the person more who's organizing it, so I go there. And I think people, that's great about America, right? We have the freedom to do whatever we
Yeah.
want, and as long as we don't kill anybody. But like,
Yeah.
there's opportunities in this country, right? Like in
Yeah.
Sri Lanka, we may not be able to do all of that. We may not be able to have 10 venues open on a Sunday, or not 10. Let's say, let's be realistic, 3, right?
Mhm.
Here, we have the opportunity to do that.
Right.
And I think that it's, in a way, it's nice that there are options. And, if I have the money, or I can get a loan or whatever, that, let's say if I can find a way to have my own Saturday night event,
Mhm.
I think I should have the freedom to do it. Whether I lose money or not, it's my problem, right? So whoever is doing their venues and they're losing money, I think that's on them. And if they
Mhm.
feel like, man, this is not working out, they should have the intelligence to change or reach out or collaborate with other people. But if they have so much ego that they don't want to do it, well, then it's their loss.
No, yeah, remember back in the day, Sarah, like really back in the days, back in the 70s and 80s. Now everyone knows my age. Back in the 70s and 80s, guys, I am old. I'm not 18 anymore.
You're not old.
You could walk down like New York City or a major city and run into an organizer or your colleague and be truthful, open, and just be like, hey, I'm having my event this weekend. And then they're like, oh no, Roswell, guess what? We're having our event also this weekend. So they would respond and say, you know what? How about I have, my event this weekend, but
And you,
they volunteer to push their event the following week, and et cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
So I don't know. Again, I'm kind of new. I just want
But
everyone to know I'm kind of new to this dance stuff. I've only been doing this for like under 8 years now. So I don't know. Back then there was a calendar, I
right.
don't know.
No, Ross,
Yeah.
we do have, and I wrote it down, because at Charlie we have every second week, every second Saturday.
Okay.
Salsa Mania we have last Saturday, so it doesn't clash with a Charlie.
Right.
Infusion we do it quarterly, and that's Daniela. She's doing it, and she's doing it every quarterly, so that
Mhm.
doesn't clash. So and then Fiogo Friday, I think it kind of clashes with Favion's, but
Mhm.
you know we're trying, and we are trying to keep it organized where
Mhm.
at least like Echale and Salsa Mania
Mhm.
and Infusion, like doesn't overlap. So I think our people, our leaders here are mindful about that. And that's super nice that like most everybody comes to Fiogo Friday. So we get to see all our friends. And
Mhm.
then Echale, because it doesn't clash with others. Sometimes it does, but mostly doesn't. So I think that Austin is being mindful, that leaders are being mindful about like, okay, let's not clash things. uh
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
not
I
it's
live
not
in
it's not that bad.
Yeah, the one I was in Austin, and I vouch it because as you know, I live in Austin. Yeah, I remember Inspired Movement had their events on Tuesday. So Tuesday
Yeah,
was like
yeah, we
Inspired
still have
Movement.
that.
Then Fanny, and they had their Fraggle Friday stuff, on Friday, and then
Miracle is doing Fiogo Friday now. I don't know who that is.
yeah, and then Manuel was Sundays at the piano
Sundays,
bar.
yeah, man is doing
Saturday
Sundays.
was I forgot was Saturday. No, I think Saturday I went to Houston. Saturday was
Yeah,
Saturday
no,
was always.
Saturday I think Echale started about a year or two ago.
Oh,
And
I
then
left.
Salsa Mania, I'm not sure how when it started, but it's the last Saturday. So even like when we have our own parties, we try to avoid those days. So that way we can all go and enjoy and dance. So it's actually it's organized in that way that because we want to dance with everybody. We don't like to have little pockets where like, oh, where do I go, where are my friends? So okay, if I go there, I'm gonna miss the other friends. So we I mean, I personally love to dance with my friends more than strangers because I enjoy it more.
Dance, not have a conversation with them, right?
Yeah, no, I don't talk when I dance.
I
No.
have to write it down. I'm like, if I put in that, Roswell, when I go back to Austin, do not have long conversations with any women.
Royce, I don't know. Maybe some women like it. I don't. I honestly don't like chit chat. Like, I don't
Okay,
enjoy it actually.
Sarah, before you go, events. I know you mentioned them. Okay, what are some additional events and stuff you would like the dance world and the community to be aware of?
Dallas Bachata is coming up next week. I'm super excited. That's one of the best bachata festivals that I go to. I always go there. And I think my friend is coming also from Corpus, so that'll be great to see her again. Then we have the Houston Salsa Congress, I think in January. There's another bachata one every May that we go to. I always say Houston and Dallas because I don't want to fly, but I know that Denver has a really good one, and I also love Zouk. I love Zouk, but it's just like I. This is what I personally think. Once you're a zooker, it's hard to get back. So I purposely avoid doing zouk because I want to learn salsa more. I mean, I love salsa, but I could feel like my affinity towards zouk. So I purposely don't go to zouk because I feel like once I do zouk, I can't dance salsa because you totally mess up your brain. Like because zouk goes with bachata and it's extremely sensual,
Yes.
and then when I'm in that mode of zouk dancing and very close dancing, it's hard for me to go back to that salsa mode. So I purposely I've kept that aside till I get really good in salsa, and then I feel like okay, I can go and dance zouk. But I honestly love zouk. It's just amazing.
I did after Austin, and then I never came back to Austin because, like, lost my job, was sick, and whatever. And I even bought my new car in Austin.
Oh,
Yes, I bought a brand new car in Austin, which I had to bring up to New Jersey, and I still haven't. So after Austin, I moved to Miami, and when I moved to Miami during COVID, Miami was like the only one of the few states or cities where dancing was allowable. So
oh,
I learned Zouk for the first time, but it was
so
a
cool.
major accomplishment for me to learn it because I used to mix bachata in. So my dance instructor was like, Roswell, this is not bachata, this is zouk, you know?
Right.
And so now I have to go back, to bachata and I mix everything up in my head, zouk and bachata and then kazumba and salsa. So I'm just doing bachata because that's, it's easy for me just to remember and, keep it that way. So
Right.
that's
And
what I
it's
like to
it's it's easy for me because I just follow, right? But you guys have to learn the steps and all that. So I feel for you, you know. It's like for me it's really easy. I just follow the guy.
like. Okay, so oh my God, we covered a lot in 2 hours. Oh
I
my
know
God.
we are
I know,
talking.
I know. We went over 10 o'clock. I know you. I always do that to you guys. You guys
I
always say
told you I only have 30 minutes and here I am 1 hour and 40 minutes. We're
I
still
always
talking.
do that to you guys. You guys hate me by now. Every time I
Oh,
ask you guys, how much time do we have? And you're like, Roswell, 5, 10 minutes. And then if we know it's like
yeah.
5 or
No,
10 hours.
I even texted you 40 minutes max. We're done. I need to sleep. This is my only day I can sleep. Every other day I'm up till like 1 o'clock.
Well, I love talking to you guys, all of you guys, and not only me. I think the audience because like all the stuff that you mentioned not only help the kids and the organizers, but just maybe there are people that have relationship concerns. Maybe there are people that are similar to you when they are in a relationship that's over 10 years, and maybe they feel they should not get out, or maybe they feel they should. So these interviews are not only dance related;
Oh
it's
yeah.
also you know on a personable level, on a professional level. These interviews are to help the world. Help
Of
people in
course,
different ways.
we want
You
to give
know,
back, we want to help. And yeah, one of my dreams is like to work for Doctors Beyond Borders, and I'm definitely doing it. And I'm just waiting to, waiting for a summer to do it. So that's like top three things in my bucket list.
okay.
And I think I'm actually going to Honduras next August for
Mm,
to help with my other colleagues, a bunch of nurses, and
mm.
I'm meeting the doctor on Sunday, next Sunday, to get that going. Yeah, I'm at an age in my life that I'm giving back, and that's just it's such an amazing feeling to give back to the community, to give back. And
Mm,
I think that that's what my mom did when, and I
mm.
remember as a young kid looking at my mom, and she didn't have a beautiful mansion house, and she could have, because we were well off, and she
Right,
never went after those materialistic things. And I was mad back then. I was like, what the heck, am I the only kid? Like, we can afford all this, but why are we living in an apartment? Because you could have gotten a really nice big house. But
right, right.
now I realize I am just as equally, like, I'm going on her footsteps, because I also don't have, I see a value in like 5,000 square foot house, and
Mm,
even if I'm that rich, I don't think I'll ever want that, because for
mm,
me, I want knowledge. I want to gain, what I want to gain is wisdom and knowledge, and be able to give back to the world. And that,
mm.
like keep a legend, hopefully one day when I die, like, people will remember, okay, Sara Thenu did something to the world. And I think that's where I am in my life right now.
Okay, wonderful. What are some final words you want to say before we sign off?
Well, um the only thing you can't get back is time. And I think before you know it, you will be 40, 50, 60, 70, and you'll be gone.
Right,
And
right.
time goes so fast. And so live your life, and be kind, believe in the universe, believe in, like Oprah says, believe in something, believe in God. Doesn't matter. I'm not Christian, but I believe in the universe. I believe doing good, you'll get good back. And
Right.
when you do something for somebody, don't expect anything in return, because some people just don't understand the value of you,
Mm,
and they maybe have their own issues that they're struggling, and so they can't um, see a clear picture. But what you can do is do the best you can, give love and help people, and enjoy every second, because you don't know when you're going to die, right?
mm.
I don't know when I'm going to die. You don't know. No one knows. And I think that if you can live in the present moment, that is the best gift you're going to do to yourself. Um, because then you can truly live it. You can truly live the life that you want, because you cannot think, oh, I'll do this in 5 years. Oh, I'll travel in 10 years. Oh, I'll travel, or I'll get a degree in 3 years when, when I have more money, or by, there are certain things, of course, you cannot do. Let's say, like, financially, you're not able to, but there are many things you can do. Like, I went to Colombia, right? All my friends said, oh, Sarah, they're gonna take your kidney, they're gonna remove your lungs and heart, and they're gonna kidnap you. I don't know what there was, but I said, you know what, God is there, and I'm intelligent, I'm not stupid, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I've never done any of that. I'm like, you know what, I'll be fine. And I think also you have to be confident about you. You
Yeah,
have to have confidence about, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can go alone. Yes, I can live alone. If there's no one in your life, like you can't find a partner, you know what? You can partner with yourself. Uh, you know, of course, I like to be with somebody, of course. But if there isn't anybody that I could live a peaceful life, I rather live in peace with myself. So there are good days, bad days, but end of the day, you want to be happy, you want to feel fulfilled, and and giving back even a little bit truly will make you a better person, will give you so much sanity and so much, you're gonna gain so much good karma that is gonna come back. Really, just be kind, just be kind and helpful. That's what
yeah.
I can. And dance, keep dancing bachata.
Yes, yes. I'm thinking about doing a cool post love to bachata like matchmaking.
Oh my god.
I'm thinking about it. Like
Oh my
they have,
god.
they have so much out there. They have speed dating, they have matchmaker. So
I know,
I've been really
right?
thinking about it, but I don't know how am I going to do it because you guys are all scattered all over the world. So I'm thinking about doing like each week dedicated to a certain sector of the planet. Like Mondays will be like California, Tuesday will be Texas, Wednesday will be Paris, Thursday will be like put
That'd be
all
so
the
cool,
single
actually.
people do one of these like a virtual like tic tac toe stuff. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it for the New Year. I don't know. It's just I mean, I did Kufos who want to love the bachata live videos, so I might as well I don't know. I'm just
Might as
thinking
well.
about
Royce, you might find your partner right there.
yeah. There
I
you
know,
go.
right?
Like I don't have to go dancing anymore. I could just like do like an online stuff and
Yeah. See, you can do all your analysis online. That way you don't have to be suspicious about anyone, right? So you can ask, clear
exactly.
all the questions that you want. And then when you go dancing, you can actually focus on dancing without being suspicious. Oh my God, is this woman
There
trying to
you
get me?
There you go. Yes, I can use my speed dating stuff to ask question, and then so when I dance with Lisa and Kayla and all of them, Fanny and all of them, I don't have to ask them questions anymore. I just dance with them. Oh, speaking of interviews, do me a favor. Kayla, yeah, please invite people from Austin to go live with me. Like, I lost touch with everyone since I left, but if you see Lisa, Manuel, I met. Kayla, I know. Lisa, I don't think I met her face to face, but yeah, let them know that
I will meet Lisa on Wednesday. Yes,
yeah,
I
tell
will
them that I
forward the
want to
message.
talk with them and find out, who they're dating, who they're sleeping with, and all that
Oh
stuff.
my
Tell them all this stuff I asked you live that I want to know. It's like National Enquirer wants to know what's
Well,
going on
Royce,
in
I'm a virgin.
Austin.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to know.
I'm a
No, no,
virgin.
that's another interview. That's not going to. That's gonna be another 2-hour interview next week.
I
I
know.
want you to.
That's a private interview. That's
That's
not on
gonna
air.
be. That's going to be a biological interview. I might need help with that. I might need help with that. But anyway, it was a pleasure speaking with you. So, when are you coming to New York? Are you first of all? I plan to be down south from November until like March or whatever, like Georgia, Florida. So, if you ever come down to the south while I'm there, let me know.
Yeah,
Or if you ever come up to New York City, let me know. Even if I'm not here, let me know, and I'll tell
I
people
might come to
introduce
New
you to the
Jersey
dance club.
actually. I have a ton of friends there. So, but I
New
don't know
Jersey.
when. Hmm.
Wayne, Wayne, New Jersey. I'm in the Wayne, New Jersey area. So now
What?
everyone knows where I live. Oh God, All these mad people are going to come to my house for dinner. Woo! Okay, when I got problems. But yeah, if you ever come this
Yes,
way,
thank you
you
so
don't have to.
much.
Yeah,
Now
you
that
don't
I
have to.
know your number, and
Yeah, please keep it confidential. I got enough
now I'm gonna
problems as
post
it
your number
is.
everywhere on Facebook.
Okay. Anyway,
All
thank you.
right.
Go ahead. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. Thank you so much. It was such an honor to be here and to laugh, and it was a nice Monday um to share my thoughts, my life, my personal experiences and everything. And hopefully you could take some of my life experiences and incorporate that into making your life wonderful and amazing.
Definitely. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for going live with me, and I appreciate it. And yes, if I do come to Austin, for the holidays or something, I'm definitely gonna, come say hello to you and everyone
Yes,
else. Okay?
I,
Please
and
don't.
I cook pretty good, so I'll definitely invite you for a meal.
Oh, that's nice of you. Thank you so much. Tell everyone in Austin I said hello, and tell
Yes.
everyone you said hello, and just tell them I said hello, hello, hello. Okay. It was a
Well,
pleasure speaking with you.
I'm waiting for your dating thing. I'm like super
You-
excited. Now I can't even sleep tonight. All I can think of is
Are
this
you gonna
dating
be?
thing. Come on, let's get
Are you
going.
gonna be? Are you gonna be the first one to sign up for it?
I'll be the first to sign up.
Oh
There
my
you
God!
go.
Well, most likely in 2024. I think I'm gonna try to do. I just have to, do some legal thinking and see how it's gonna
Yeah,
make sense
yeah,
and
true,
whatever.
true,
But
true.
but that is something definitely in the works. I'm gonna
That'll be
do.
fun.
Okay. Have a good night. Okay.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. I know you
Thank you,
gotta sleep.
everybody. Good
Go to
night.
bed. Get your 8 hours sleep.
Oh
People
my
need
gosh.
you. The world needs you. So the world needs you. Okay. So have a good night and thank you so much.
Good night. Bye.
Bye bye.